The 90s was so good, and not just for its house prices. No, it was a great time because it sparked the beginning of some real gems, which even today still define a generation. But there are some that also had the opposite effect and traumatized us. So here's some moments from 90s games that scared us to our core. The PS1 Rugrats game was a seriously underestimated masterpiece, and being made primarily for kids, you may think, oh, what a lovely looking, happy, Jesus Christ, what the hell is going on here? Yes, despite the outwards fun look, this game certainly had its moments, and one of them stands out most of all. During a minigame, Chucky and Tommy sneak out of their pram at a toy store and are locked in overnight. It's here they discover a giant mechanical reptar, and they need to switch it on. But in order to make it up to the button, they need to fetch boxes from around the store to climb up and reach it. So why do you need to switch on a giant dinosaur? Well, because there's a massive purple ape that chases you in the shop. While not necessarily meant to be scary, the creepy music, dark atmosphere, and terrifying robots just stalking around makes it the perfect recipe to terrify a small child.
Dolby, look out! Dolby!
And the worst thing about it is that you can actually hear the mechanical footprints as it chases you through the dark corridors. My 7-year-old self did not need this. Survival horror was finding its footing during the PS1 era, and while it's Resident Evil and Silent Hill that are mostly remembered as being top dogs, others flew under the radar. Alone in the Dark centres on two main characters, Edward, a paranormal investigator, and his partner Aileen. Despite being a bit overshadowed by others, it's a fantastic game and it still has a very dark and scary atmosphere that terrified me. And for some reason, I didn't think a game called Alone in the Dark was much of a red flag. I remember seeing this on the shelf of Blockbuster and thinking, yeah, I could handle that. Spoiler, I could in fact not handle that. Resident Evil sets up the scene perfectly. From the moment you start the game, the atmosphere is spot on. You make your way through the house and finally get to the part where you see a man on the ground, except it's not a man, that's a zombie. This first encounter sticks in so many people's minds because, let's be honest, it's so perfectly done, not too rushed, and allows you to just take in the horror. Older games like this use sound only when necessary, so what made it so jarring is that you would have a silent corridor and then bam, straight into the action. I know many of us found the dogs the scariest part, but there's something about that slow turn of the head that just makes this worse than the other encounters. The Sims has always been well known for its quirky moments, but some of these are also a little unnerving, namely this sound. Unless you've been hiding under a bit of a rock, this noise indicated that a burglar had wandered onto your Sim's property and was looking to relieve you of some of your possessions. This noise comes out of nowhere with no warning, so unless you have an alarm, it's a race against time to phone the police, and even then, there's no guarantee that they'll actually come and help you. Especially when your Sim decides to throw a tantrum just because you woke them up. Look, I know what you're thinking, and frankly, I don't expect half of you to remember this game, let alone make it this far in the video. But this game has atmosphere. From the creepy music and dogs patrolling the coop to the expert lighting, this game really made you feel like a helpless chicken scared for its life. And in my opinion, is so underrated. But that's a video for another time. I'll just kind of leave you with the general atmosphere so you can get a feel for it. This game is the OG, the absolute horror to end all horrors. Released in 1999 and the Big Daddy to survival horror, there are so many moments that could be classed as traumatizing. A fog hiding enemies in plain sight, lack of save point, and just a generally unsettling environment. But the one part of this game for me which kept me up at night was the first time that siren goes off. You're immediately thrown into a sense of dread and panic as the world quite literally starts to crumble around you and the nightmares come out. What did you think of our list? Let me know if I've missed anything in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like for more like this. I'll see you next time.